many Dragon Ball races can you recall? And among those, who are the strongest ones? Today, we're analyzing the strengths and abilities of the top 30 strongest races in Dragon Ball. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, I think even you cannot rank these 30 on the top of your head. You might think you already know who's at the top, but spoiler warning, it's not Saiyans. Before we begin, 2 small ground rules. 1. A single strong character does not necessarily mean that the entire race is strong. It just means that this individual is in a league of their own when compared to the rest of their race. But for sure, a character like that adds up to the overall score the clan has. 2. There are many races that we only have one confirmed member of. Heck, there are even times we don't even know the name of the race, like in Jiren's case, for example. When that happens, we will do our best to rank the clan as best as we can based on the info we have. And with that out of the way, let's get to the exciting part of the video. Number 30, the Cybermen, the little green terrors that made their mark during the Saiyan saga. You see, these bioengineered warriors grow from seeds and pop out of the ground ready to throw hands, or explode if necessary. While you might think they're just cannon fodder, they're stronger than you'd expect for a disposable alien race. In terms of power, they're on par with Raditz, which back in the early days of Dragon Ball Z was kind of impressive if you ask me. But by today's standards, not so much. As for the strongest Cybermen, well, they're all pretty much the same in terms of power. But if you remember, one of them did manage to kill Yamcha. Still, with their explosive tendencies and decent strength for low-tier fighters, the Cybermen had to get a shout-out. But compared to the universe's strongest races, they're glorified minions. Number 29, the zombies. Zombies in Dragon Ball are a weird one, right? We don't get many, but they do exist. Some of the strongest characters from this race would be Bandages the Mummy, one of Fortune Teller Baba's fighters. Now, you may be thinking, wait, Mummy? I thought we were talking about zombies. I mean, technically, Bandage fits the bill of the undead. He's tough, strong, and resistant to pain, making him a formidable opponent for characters like Goku back in Dragon Ball. But let's be real, zombies aren't exactly powerhouses in this universe. Sure, they're hard to kill, since, being dead already kinda gives them an advantage there. And plus, they do have decent physical strength, but you're not gonna see a zombie taking on Super Saiyan God Goku anytime soon. That's for sure. Their real strength lies in their resilience and ability to keep coming at you, no matter what. So while the zombies may be more of a novelty in Dragon Ball, their never-die attitude earns them a spot on the list. Number 28, the Jin. Alright, hear me out on this one. I know that Majin Buu is kind of part of this category, but in reality, we have a separate category for him, the Majins. So by leaving out Majin Buu, that, as we said, was a special case, this race is nothing really special, to be honest. Their existence seems to be tied to mystical forces, with their abilities often surpassing conventional ki-based powers seen in other races. This magical nature allows them to manipulate reality in ways that other fighters cannot. Number 27, Yardratrians. Yardratrians may not be physical monsters, but in terms of technique mastery, they're on another level. These little aliens are most famous for teaching Goku instant transmission, the ability to teleport anywhere by locking onto someone's ki signature. One of the strongest characters from this race would be Paibara, the leader of the Yardratrians, who personally taught Goku this life-saving technique after his battle with Frieza. Yardratrians aren't known for their brute strength, but they are ki control specialists. Paibara, for instance, has mastered spirit control, a technique that allows him to manipulate and control his own and others' spirits. This not only makes them excellent teachers, but also incredibly tricky opponents if you're not prepared for their advanced abilities. They can increase their size, clone themselves, and even use techniques like forced spirit fission, which Goku later used to weaken Moro during their fight in the Dragon Ball Super manga. While Yardratrians aren't going to win any weightlifting contests, their mastery over these techniques can completely turn the tide of battle. Think of them as the martial arts wizards of the universe. They may not knock you out with one punch, but they'll outmaneuver and outsmart you before you even know what hit you. Number 26, Vampi Beasts. The Vampi Beasts might seem like a weird pick, but these giant wolf-like creatures are native to the desolate planet Vampa, aka Broly's exile home. Now, here's the thing. These beasts may not be on the level of galactic warriors, but surviving on a planet as harsh as Vampa requires some serious strength. In fact, Broly himself used them as training material. Think about that. These beasts are strong enough to give Broly a workout. The strongest of these creatures, while not named, are easily recognizable by their massive size and terrifying power. They have sharp claws and teeth that can cut through almost anything. They're resilient, surviving in an environment that has almost no food and fighting off other creatures just to stay alive. Sure, they might not have energy blasts or transformation abilities, but in terms of sheer physical power, these beasts are nothing to scoff at. They're the apex predators of Vampa, and the fact that they served as prey to Broly, one of the strongest Saiyans ever, is a testament to their toughness. Number 25, Earthlings. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, but Earthlings aren't weak compared to other races, Well, maybe, but hear me out. Some of the strongest characters from Earth are absurdly powerful, even by intergalactic standards. Krillin, Yamcha, and Master Roshi have all proven themselves as capable warriors. In fact, Krillin, the strongest Earthling, is arguably one of the most underrated fighters in the series. Krillin might not have the ability to transform into a Super Saiyan or blow up planets, but the guy is crafty. He's a master of Destructo Discs, aka Kienzan, which are so sharp they could slice through almost anything. Krillin's also known for his incredible martial arts skills, having trained with Goku under Master Roshi. Speaking of Roshi, this old turtle hermit can still throw down with some of the best. I mean, the guy literally blew up the moon, if you recall. Then there's Yamcha. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yamcha? Seriously? But let's be real for a second. Yamcha used to be one of the strongest Earthlings before the power scaling got out of control. He's got powerful techniques like the Wolf Fang Fist and Spirit Ball. And while his reputation took a hit after the whole Cybermen incident, he's still no slouch when compared to regular fighters. Earthlings may not have godlike power levels, but they make up for it with strategy, martial arts mastery, and the occasional overpowered technique. Number 24, Triclops. Now, here things get interesting again. When we talk about the Triclops race, we're talking about Tien Shinhan. Yes, that's right. Tien isn't human. He's from the Three-Eyed People, a race known for their ki control and unique abilities thanks to their third eye. Tien has been a staple of the Z Fighters and has held his own against some seriously powerful foes, including semi-perfect Cell. Tien's third eye gives him enhanced perception, allowing him to see through illusions and increases battle awareness. His signature technique, the Tri-Beam or Kikoho, is one of the most powerful in the series, capable of taking down foes far stronger than himself. But here's the catch. It drains his life force every time he uses it, which means Tien is quite literally risking his life with each shot. Another one of Tien's strengths is his versatility. He's a martial arts master with techniques like Solar Flare, which blinds opponents, and Multiform, where he splits into multiple copies of himself. While Tien might not be able to go Super Saiyan, his ability to push himself beyond his limits and his mastery of ki make him a standout fighter. Number 23, Zarbon's race. So moving away from Earth now, we get to Zarbon's race. Zarbon was one of Friezas' elite soldiers, and boy does he leave an impression. Zarbon's race is known for their elegance and beauty, but don't let that fool you. Beneath that flawless exterior is some serious power. Zarbon is one of the most notable members of this race, and if you thought his sleek look was all he had going for him, think again. Zarbon's real strength comes from his transformation ability. He starts off as this calm, suave fighter who relies on agility and martial arts, but once things get serious, he transforms into a monstrous brute, increasing his physical power exponentially. In this form, Zarbon is strong enough to overpower even Vegeta during their first encounter on Namek. However, the downside is that this monstrous form sacrifices speed for strength, which ultimately leads to Zarbon's downfall when Vegeta figures out his fighting style. Still, the transformation ability gives Zarbon's race a unique edge in battle, making them unpredictable and dangerous when pushed to their limits. Number 22, Ginyu's race. You see, when it comes to Ginyu's race, their main claim to fame is, of course, the ability to switch bodies. Ginyu himself demonstrated this freaky ability by swapping bodies with Goku, giving him access to Goku's power, though without Goku's fighting instincts, it didn't go too well for him. But think about how broken this ability could be in the right hands. Imagine someone swapping bodies with a god-tier character like Beerus or Jiren. Now, Ginyu himself is no slouch, even without body swapping. As the leader of the Ginyu Force, he's one of Frieza's top soldiers, and was considered a major threat during the Namek saga. His power level is nothing to sneeze at, but it's his technique that makes him truly dangerous. With just a shout of "Charge now!"
Change now?
He can take over someone's body, leaving them stuck in his weaker body while he enjoys their superior power. One of the biggest advantages of this ability is that it's instant and doesn't require charging or elaborate preparation. The moment Ginyu decides to switch, it's game over for anyone who isn't prepared. The downside, if he swaps into a body weaker than his original form, like when he swapped with a frog, well, it's not exactly a winning strategy, now is it? Number 21, Botamo's race. Yeah, I know, Botamo's race doesn't seem all that impressive at first glance. He's big, slow, and, well, he looks like a giant teddy bear. But don't let appearances fool you. Botamo's got one of the most broken defensive abilities in the series. His body can absorb and nullify damage, no matter how powerful the attack is. During the Tournament of Destroyers, Goku threw punch after punch at Botamo, and it didn't even faze him. Goku's energy blasts? Same thing. Botamo just shrugged them off. His body works like a sponge, soaking up energy attacks and preventing any serious damage from getting through. So basically, you can hit him all day, but he's not going down unless you have a really clever strategy. The downside though, Potamo's race doesn't seem to excel in offense. He might be able to tank hits like a champ, but if he can't dish out the damage, then he's not as big of a threat as, say, a Saiyan or an android. Number 20, Cerealians. You see, the Cerealians are a fascinating race, and they've gained a lot of attention recently thanks to Granola, one of the last surviving members of the race. Cerealians are known for their incredible eyesight and precision. They have such advanced vision that they can spot and hit vital points with near perfect accuracy, making them some of the most dangerous snipers in the universe. Granola, in particular, has become one of the strongest fighters due to a special wish he made to the Dragon Balls on his planet. This wish allowed him to become the strongest mortal in the universe, albeit with the drawback that he sacrificed most of his remaining lifespan. Granola's power skyrocketed to the point where he could go toe-to-toe with Goku and Vegeta, even forcing them to push beyond their limits. Truth be told, Cerealians aren't known for raw power like the Saiyans or Friezas race, but their precision and intelligence make them deadly in battle. Granola's ability to pinpoint and exploit his opponent's weaknesses, combined with his incredible fighting skill, makes him one of the most dangerous characters introduced in Dragon Ball Super. However, the fact that Granola had to rely on a wish to reach his full potential suggests that, while Cerealians are skilled, they may not have the same natural potential for growth as races like the Saiyans. Number 19, Heater's Race. Okay, let's now dive into Heater's Race, specifically focusing on Elec and Gas, members of the Heater family. These characters were introduced in Dragon Ball Super as cunning manipulators and powerhouses in their own right. The Heaters are known for their scheming and influence behind the scenes, but they've also got some serious power backing them up. Gas, in particular, is the muscle of the Heater family. After Elec uses the Dragon Balls to make Gas the strongest warrior in the universe, he becomes an absolute beast. Gas's fighting style incorporates both brute strength and powerful energy techniques, and after his transformation, he's able to take on the likes of Goku and Vegeta in their strongest forms. He even has the ability to create weapons out of thin air, making him an unpredictable and versatile fighter. What makes the Heater race interesting is that they aren't naturally warriors. They're more known for their intelligence and manipulation. Elec, the leader, is more of a strategist than a fighter, using his brain to outsmart stronger opponents. But with the right wish, they can unlock unimaginable power, as seen with Gas. Number 18, Tuffles. You see, the Tuffles are a fascinating and tragic race from Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Heroes. Known for their advanced technology and intelligence, the Tuffles were originally a peaceful race living on planet Plant, which they shared with the Saiyans before they were wiped out in a brutal takeover. While not physically powerful compared to races like the Saiyans, the Tuffles were incredibly resourceful and relied on their technology to keep themselves safe. Their most notable character is Baby, who played a huge role as the main antagonist during the Baby saga in Dragon Ball GT. Baby is the last surviving member of the Tuffle race, and he harbors a deep hatred for the Saiyans due to their role in his race's destruction. Baby possesses the ability to infect and control other beings, essentially taking over their bodies and enhancing their power. After taking over Vegeta, Baby becomes a major threat, achieving new levels of power and becoming Baby Vegeta, who gave Super Saiyan 4 Goku one of his toughest fights. The Tuffles may not have had the raw fighting power of the Saiyans, but their use of biotechnology and manipulation made them formidable opponents. Baby's ability to enhance and control others made him particularly dangerous, as he could harness the strength of Saiyans and turn it against them. Baby's grudge against the Saiyans fueled his obsession with revenge, making him one of the most determined and ruthless villains in Dragon Ball GT. In short, while the Tuffles might have been physically weaker, their reliance on brains and tech, not to mention their ability to control stronger fighters, gave them a unique edge. They were a race that knew how to turn the tables in their favor, even against overwhelming odds, which is why we don't place them lower on our list. Number 17, Metalmen. You see, Metalmen are a race made entirely of, you guessed it, metal. These guys have some seriously tough armor, which makes them incredibly durable and resistant to physical attacks. One of the most notable members of this race is Magetta, who fought Vegeta in the Tournament of Destroyers. Magetta is essentially a giant living furnace who can withstand extreme heat and dish out devastating attacks with molten metal. Now, Metalmen aren't the fastest or most agile fighters, but their sheer durability makes them incredibly hard to take down. During his fight with Vegeta, Magetta proved to be a tough opponent, shrugging off most of Vegeta's attacks without breaking a sweat. Well, if Metalmen could sweat. His ability to fire lava blasts makes him an offensive threat as well, meaning he's not just a defensive tank, but can dish out some serious damage. What's interesting about Magetta, though, is his mental vulnerability. As tough as he is physically, his feelings can be hurt quite easily. When Vegeta insults him during their fight, it throws Magetta off his game completely, showing that while Metalmen are hard to hurt physically, their emotional resilience could use some work. Overall, Metalmen may not be the most versatile fighters, but their nearly indestructible bodies make them a force to be reckoned with, as long as they keep their emotions in check, they're capable of taking on some of the strongest fighters in the universe. Number 16, Toki. Now, Toki isn't so much a race as he is a specific divine bird with the power to control time itself. But given his role in the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games and Dragon Ball Heroes, Toki deserves a mention. As the god of time, Toki's abilities are beyond comprehension. He's responsible for maintaining the stability of the time stream and preventing timelines from collapsing or being manipulated by evil forces. Toki's power isn't about brute strength or energy blasts. It's about time manipulation. This gives him a massive advantage over almost anyone, as controlling time itself is a game-breaking ability. The bird might seem small and cute, but he's revered by powerful gods like the Supreme Kai of Time and Chronoa, who understand just how crucial Toki is to the very fabric of reality. While Toki doesn't engage in combat, his control over time makes him one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse. His mere presence can alter the course of history, and without him, the Dragon Ball universe would likely descend into chaos due to the constant time-altering threats it faces. In summary, Toki might not throw punches, but his role in keeping time stable makes him a godlike figure with power far beyond anything we usually see in the Dragon Ball universe. Time itself bends to his will, and that's a power few can even comprehend, let alone challenge. Number 15, demons. You see, these creatures dwell in the demon realm, and some of the strongest characters from this race include Dabura, the king of the demon realm, and Mira, a powerful artificial being infused with demonic power. Demons, by their very nature, possess dark magic and immense strength, making them formidable opponents. Let's start with Dabura. As the king of the demon realm, Dabura wields tremendous power and dark magic. His signature ability is Stone Spit, which can turn anyone into stone with just a single hit, making him a terrifying opponent for anyone caught off guard. Dabura was strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan during the Majin Buu saga, showing that demons are no pushovers when it comes to raw power. Dabura's strength combined with his magic made him one of Babidi's top enforcers in his quest to revive Majin Buu. Then there's Mira, a time-traveling artificial demon created by the scientist Toa in Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Heroes. Mira's goal is to become the strongest being in existence, and he's been a major threat to the Time Patrol, battling against Goku, Vegeta, and even Super Saiyan 4 warriors. With the power to absorb energy and manipulate time, Mira represents the ultimate fusion of demonic and technological power. The demons aren't just about brute strength, though. They're often associated with dark, sinister magic that can bypass traditional fighting techniques. Whether it's turning people into stone or manipulating the very fabric of time, the demons are a race you don't want to mess with. Their combination of magic and strength makes them unpredictable, dangerous, and capable of challenging some of the universe's strongest fighters. Number 14, Wizards. Now, when we think of wizards in the Dragon Ball universe, the first name that comes to mind is Babidi, the son of the powerful warlock Bibidi, who created Majin Buu. Wizards may not be physically strong, but their magical abilities make them some of the most dangerous beings in the universe. Babidi, for instance, was able to control strong warriors like Dabura and even Majin Vegeta through his mind control techniques. His magic allowed him to influence others, making them fight for him while he stayed safe in the background. Babidi's magic is centered around mind control, energy manipulation, and summoning powerful creatures to do his bidding, which makes him a tricky opponent. While he himself isn't a strong fighter, his ability to manipulate others puts him in a unique position of power. The fact that wizards can control beings far stronger than themselves gives them a huge tactical advantage. Babidi's ability to command the likes of Dabura and Vegeta shows just how dangerous magic can be when combined with the right strategy. While wizards like Babidi may not be physically imposing, they can turn the tide of battle by using their enemy's strength against them. Wizards in Dragon Ball tend to rely on cunning, manipulation, and dark magic to achieve their goals. They're not warriors, but their power comes from their ability to bend the will of others, making them some of the most feared manipulators in the universe. Number 13, Jiren's race. Now, when it comes to powerhouses, few can compare to Jiren. As one of the strongest warriors in the multiverse, Jiren represents his unnamed race from Universe 11. Not much is known about the full extent of Jiren's race, but what we do know is that they are capable of achieving ridiculous levels of strength and resilience through sheer willpower and intense training. Jiren himself is a member of the Pride Troopers, the elite force of Universe 11, and his power level is so immense that it rivals even gods. In fact, during the Tournament of Power, Jiren was strong enough to overpower Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, and even hit at various points, proving that he's in a league of his own. And this guy hasn't even needed fancy transformations like Super Saiyan or Ultra Instinct. He's just that strong naturally. Jiren's most notable trait is his absolute strength. He's described as being stronger than the gods of destruction, title very few characters can claim. His power comes from intense training and an unshakable sense of justice, which makes him nearly invincible in combat. He can withstand attacks that would obliterate most characters, and his speed and endurance are just as impressive. Jiren also has a powerful energy attack called Power Impact, which he can use to demolish his enemies with ease. Jiren's strength is rooted in his tragic backstory. He lost his family to an evil force when he was young, and after being abandoned by those he trusted, he decided to rely on nothing but his own strength. This resolve drove him to push beyond the limits of what anyone thought was possible, making him one of the toughest opponents Goku has ever faced. In the Tournament of Power, Goku had to unlock Ultra Instinct just to keep up with Jiren's overwhelming power. While we don't know much about the rest of Jiren's race, if they have anything near his potential, they would certainly be a force to be reckoned with. Jiren alone shows that, with enough determination, his race can stand toe-to-toe with gods and come out on top. This makes them one of the strongest and most intriguing races in the Dragon Ball universe. Number 12. Namekians. Yeah, I know. The Namekians are mostly a peaceful race known for their wisdom, healing abilities, and incredible potential for growth. While they might seem unassuming at first, some of the most powerful characters in Dragon Ball hail from Namek, including Piccolo, Kami, and Neo. These green-skinned warriors aren't just mystical healers. They can become some of the most powerful fighters in the universe with the right training. Namekians are unique in several ways. First, they're capable of regeneration, allowing them to heal from severe injuries as long as their core remains intact. This makes them extremely resilient in battle. Namekians can also fuse with each other to increase their power. This fusion is permanent and allows them to combine their strengths and knowledge into a single being. Piccolo famously fused with Nail during the Frieza saga, which made him a formidable opponent for Frieza's second form. Later, he would fuse with Kami, his former evil half, making him even more powerful during the Cell saga. Piccolo, as one of the most iconic Namekians, has consistently been one of the strongest fighters in the series. After his fusions, he surpassed many of the other Z fighters in terms of power and strategy. He's also a master of ki manipulation, capable of firing devastating attacks like the special beam cannon and the Hell Zone grenade. What makes Piccolo particularly dangerous is his intelligence and tactical mind, which he uses to outwit his opponents. Then there's Dende, another Namekian who plays a critical role as the Guardian of Earth. Dende's healing powers have saved the lives of Goku and his friends on numerous occasions, making him an invaluable asset during intense battles. While the Namekians don't have transformations like the Saiyans or godly powers like the Angels, they're a race with tremendous potential and unique abilities that make them key players in the universe. Their regenerative powers, ability to fuse, and exceptional combat skills allow them to punch well above their weight class, especially when fused with other Namekians. And don't forget their role as the creators of the Dragon Balls, a contribution that shaped the entire Dragon Ball saga. And now, let's get to the most exciting part of the video, the top 10. Number 10, Core People, also known as Shinjin. This race is from where Supreme Kais are chosen. They are born from the World Tree on the sacred world of the Kais, and their power and influence are immense, as they are responsible for overseeing the creation and destruction of worlds. While not all Core People become Supreme Kais, those who do hold godlike authority and are some of the most important figures in the universe. The most well-known Core People in the series include Shin, the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, and Old Kai, a former Supreme Kai who was sealed away in the Z-Sword. While the Core People themselves may not possess raw combat power on the level of the Saiyans or the Gods of Destruction, they are immortal and have vast knowledge of the universe, making them key players in maintaining the balance of life and death. Supreme Kais like Shin have access to unique abilities, including the power to create and revive life. They also possess teleportation, telekinesis, and can sense energy across the universe, allowing them to monitor events on a cosmic scale. However, their combat ability is somewhat limited. During the Majin Buu saga, Shin struggled against enemies like Dabura, showing that while the Core People have divine power, they aren't necessarily the strongest in a fight. That being said, Core People play an essential role in the cosmic order. Without them, the universe would lack balance, as they oversee the creation of planets and civilizations. Their wisdom, immortality, and connection to the Dragon Balls make them one of the most important races in the Dragon Ball lore, even if they aren't the most powerful of fighters. Number 9, Assassins. The Assassins of the Dragon Ball universe might not have a specific race or planet of origin, but they play a significant role in several key moments throughout the series. Assassins are typically hired mercenaries with specialized skills that allow them to eliminate targets with precision and efficiency. The most prominent assassin in Dragon Ball is Hit, the legendary assassin from Universe 6. Let's talk about Hit first, because he's a major player in the Tournament of Destroyers and the Tournament of Power. Hit is a humanoid from Universe 6 who specializes in time manipulation, and yeah, that makes him insanely tough to beat. His signature technique is Time Skip, which allows him to stop time for a fraction of a second, giving him a huge advantage during combat. This ability lets him predict and avoid attacks while countering with precision strikes, making him one of the deadliest fighters in the multiverse. But if you thought time manipulation transformation was all he had, think again. Hit can improve his time skip ability during battle, expanding the time he controls and developing new techniques on the fly. He even evolves to the point where he can create a time cage to trap his opponents, as he did against Jiren in the Tournament of Power. That's right, Hit went toe-to-toe with Jiren, and while he didn't win, the fact that he was able to hold his own against such an overwhelming force speaks volumes about his skill and strength. What makes assassins like Hit so formidable isn't just their power, but their tactics. They don't engage in mindless brawls. They strike with purpose and precision. Assassins rely on stealth, speed, and deadly techniques that allow them to end fights before they even begin. What's especially scary about assassins is their ruthlessness. They're not driven by honor or pride like Saiyans or warriors. They're motivated by the cold, hard promise of a paycheck. That makes them incredibly dangerous because they'll stop at nothing to complete their mission. Assassins may not have the raw power of gods or Saiyans, but their ability to outthink and outmaneuver their enemies makes them some of the most dangerous fighters in the universe. They strike fast, they strike hard, and by the time you realize what's happening, it's already too late. Number 8. Androids. The androids of Dragon Ball are a mix of humans and machines, engineered to be some of the most powerful beings in the universe. Created by Dr. Gero of the Red Ribbon Army, these mechanical warriors were designed to destroy Goku and anyone who stood in their way. Over time, the androids evolved to become some of the most interesting and powerful characters in the series. Let's start off with Android 17 and Android 18, two of the most iconic androids introduced in the Android saga. These siblings are cybernetically enhanced humans who possess infinite energy, meaning they never tire out during a fight. This gives them a massive edge in long, drawn-out battles, since they don't experience fatigue like normal fighters. Their power levels are immense, capable of taking on Super Saiyan forms and even battling on par with Cell at his most dangerous stages. Android 18 is particularly memorable for her fight against Vegeta during the Android saga, where she not only defeated him, but also broke his arm, proving that even Saiyan warriors could be taken down by sheer android strength. Meanwhile, Android 17 was an MVP in the Tournament of Power, holding his own against some of the strongest fighters from across the multiverse and even making it to the final stages of the tournament. His combination of energy barriers, tactical intelligence, and relentless stamina made him one of the surprise stars of the Tournament of Power. Then there's Cell, the ultimate creation of Dr. Gero. Cell is a bioengineered android who possesses the cells of Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, and other powerful fighters, allowing him to tap into their strengths. His goal was to achieve perfection through absorbing Androids 17 and 18, which he eventually did, becoming Perfect Cell. In this form, Cell was one of the most terrifying villains in Dragon Ball Z, pushing Gohan to unlock Super Saiyan 2 in order to defeat him. Androids aren't just machines. They're a deadly mix of organic life and advanced technology, making them unpredictable and highly durable in battle. Whether it's their infinite energy, their ability to evolve, or their sheer combat strength, androids are a major threat in the Dragon Ball universe, capable of taking on some of the strongest warriors without breaking a sweat. Number 7. Frieza's race, also known as the Frost Demons or Frieza's clan, is one of the most infamous and powerful in the Dragon Ball universe. These guys are natural-born conquerors with an absurd amount of strength, durability, and a penchant for taking over planets. Frieza, of course, is the poster child of this race, but his family is no slouch either. His father, King Colt, his brother Cooler, and Frost from Universe 6 all showcase the terrifying potential of this race. Frieza is one of the most iconic villains in Dragon Ball Z, and his power level is off the charts. When we first meet Frieza during the Namek saga, he's capable of wiping out planets with a flick of his wrist. His final form was strong enough to give Goku's Super Saiyan transformation a run for its money, and it took the combined efforts of Goku, Vegeta, and the rest of the Z fighters to finally defeat him. But if you thought Frieza peaked there, think again. After being resurrected in Dragon Ball Super, Frieza went through intense training and unlocked his Golden Frieza form, which allowed him to fight on par with Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta. This new form multiplied his power exponentially, and Frieza showed that with just a little effort, he could keep up with the strongest fighters in the universe. Frieza's race is unique in that they can transform into multiple forms, each one restricting their true power until it's absolutely necessary to unleash it. Frieza alone has several forms, from his base form to his final form, and then his golden transformation. This ability to scale up their power makes them incredibly dangerous, because you never know when they're holding back or when they're about to go all out. And don't forget about Cooler, Frieza's brother. brother, who showcased his own 5th form in the Cooler's Revenge movie, a transformation that Frieza never achieved. Cooler's strength rivaled even his brother's, proving that Frieza's family is just one powerhouse after another. The sheer strength, adaptability, and ruthlessness of Frieza's race make them one of the most dangerous species in the universe. Their natural power is off the charts, and with their ability to transform and evolve, they can keep up with even the strongest fighters in the multiverse. Man, that's crazy, right? But not as crazy as what's coming up next. Number 6. Saiyans. When it comes to iconic races in Dragon Ball, the Saiyans reign supreme. Known for their unparalleled fighting spirit, ability to transform into Super Saiyans, and endless potential for growth, Saiyans are easily one of the strongest and most recognized races in the universe. The Saiyan race originates from planet Vegeta, previously called planet Sadala, and they're known for being natural-born warriors, thriving in battle and continuously seeking stronger opponents. Let's talk about their transformations, because that's where the Saiyans really shine. Their most famous transformation is the Super Saiyan form, which is achieved through intense emotional stress, usually anger. This transformation increases their power level exponentially, turning their hair blonde and their eyes teal. Goku's first transformation into a Super Saiyan during his battle with Frieza on planet Namek is one of the most iconic moments in anime history. Since then, we've seen multiple transformations, from Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, to the Divine Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue forms. Some of the strongest Saiyans include Goku, Vegeta, Broly, and Gohan. Let's start with Goku, the poster boy of the Dragon Ball franchise. Goku has reached godlike levels of power, mastering transformations like Super Saiyan God and Ultra Instinct, a state where his body reacts independently of his thoughts, making him incredibly difficult to hit in battle. Goku has defeated some of the strongest beings in the multiverse, including Majin Buu, Frieza, and even Jiren, with help, of course. His relentless pursuit of strength and his love of battle make him the embodiment of the Saiyan spirit. Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans, is another legendary fighter. He's Goku's rival, and while he often plays second fiddle to Goku, his power and pride are unmatched. Vegeta has always pushed himself to surpass Goku, achieving forms like Super Saiyan Blue Evolved, and more recently, tapping into Ultra Ego, a form that feeds on his Saiyan instincts to take damage and grow stronger in the midst of battle. Vegeta's journey from villain to hero is one of the most compelling arcs in Dragon Ball, and he's now one of the most powerful beings in the universe. Let's not forget Broly, though, the legendary Super Saiyan. Broly's power is so immense that he was deemed a threat to the entire Saiyan race as a child. His strength is monstrous, and when he transforms, he becomes an unstoppable force of destruction. In Dragon Ball Super, Broly, his power grows to the point where he's able to take on Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza all at once, forcing Goku and Vegeta to fuse into Gogeta just to take him down. Then there's Gohan, Goku's eldest son, who also possesses enormous potential. Though Gohan doesn't enjoy fighting as much as his father, his latent power is terrifying. As a teenager, Gohan was the first to achieve Super Saiyan 2, which he used to defeat Perfect Cell. Later, in Dragon Ball Super, Gohan unlocks his ultimate form, which brings him back into the ranks of the strongest fighters. What makes the Saiyans particularly formidable is their ability to Zenkai, which is the process by which a Saiyan grows stronger after recovering from near-death experiences. This trait gives them a massive advantage in long fights, as they continue to get stronger the more they are injured. Combine that with their ability to transform, and you've got a race that's built to dominate. The Saiyans' love for battle, their rapid growth in power, and their incredible transformations make them a terrifying race to face. Whether it's through training, transformations, or fusions, Saiyans always find a way to rise above the odds and become stronger, cementing their place as one of the top races in the Dragon Ball universe. Number 5, Beerus' race. Now we're getting into God territory. Beerus, the god of destruction of Universe 7, belongs to a mysterious, unnamed race that's naturally predisposed to incredible power. While we don't know much about Beerus' race as a whole, Beerus himself is one of the most powerful beings in the Dragon Ball multiverse, and by extension, we can assume his race must have the potential for god-tier strength. Beerus' most terrifying ability is his power to destroy anything and everything with ease. As a god of destruction, his job is to maintain a balance in the universe by wiping out planets, civilizations, or even other gods if necessary. His Hawkeye technique allows him to erase objects, beings, or even energy attacks from existence entirely, and that's not something you want to be on the receiving end of. In addition to his destructive abilities, Beerus possesses immense speed, agility, and strength, as well as an instinctive fighting ability that makes him nearly impossible to predict in battle. He fought Goku when Goku achieved the power of Super Saiyan God, and even then, Beerus barely had to try. Goku was pushed to his absolute limit, but Beerus still held back most of his strength. His raw combat skills, combined with his godly status, make him nearly unbeatable. One of the most impressive things about Beerus is his restraint. Even though he has the power to obliterate anyone in his path, he often chooses not to. Sure, he'll blow up a planet if the food isn't to his liking, but for the most part, he seems to be waiting for a true challenge, someone who can actually match his power. Beerus' twin brother, Champa, is also a god of destruction for Universe 6. While Champa might not be quite as strong as Beerus, he's still incredibly powerful and capable of wiping out entire planets in the blink of an eye. The fact that both Beerus and Champa are so powerful implies that their race is one of the strongest in the multiverse, even if their potential isn't fully explored in the series. In summary, while we don't know much about Beerus' race, we do know that if Beerus is any indication, they're one of the most powerful species in existence. Their ability to harness godly powers, destroy entire worlds, and fight on a level that even Super Saiyans struggle to match puts them near the top of the power rankings. Number 4, Zenos Attendants. If we're talking about sheer power and authority in the Dragon Ball multiverse, Zenos Attendants are a massive mystery. These silent, ever-present bodyguards to Zeno, the king of all, radiate an air of menace and strength that rivals even the gods of destruction. We don't know much about their origins or their race, but what we do know is that their presence alone is enough to make even the most powerful beings in existence tread carefully. Zeno, the supreme ruler of all universes, is essentially omnipotent, with the ability to erase entire universes at will. And yet, even Zeno has bodyguards in the form of his 2 attendants. These 2 beings are always by Zeno's side, and their sheer presence exudes authority. If you've ever wondered just how powerful they must be, consider this. Zeno can erase anything with a snap of his fingers, and yet he has them to guard him. What does that tell you? We haven't seen the attendants in combat, and honestly, do we even want to? But their mere existence suggests that they are incomprehensibly powerful. They don't talk, they don't fight, they don't do much other than follow Zeno around. But the way everyone, including the gods of destruction and angels, reacts to their presence tells us everything we need to know. One interesting question is whether Zeno's attendants are there to protect Zeno or to control him. Zeno is childlike and doesn't always understand the consequences of his actions, so perhaps these attendants serve as a check on his immense power. But if you thought about challenging these guys, think again. If they're tasked with protecting the most powerful being in existence, you can bet they're not to be trifled with. The mystery surrounding their power only makes them more terrifying. Zeno's attendants might not have a flashy list of feats or transformations, but their association with Zeno and their unshakable authority make them one of the most dangerous entities in the Dragon Ball multiverse. They're a race, if they even are a race, whose full power remains unknown, but their proximity to the king of all suggests they're leagues above most other beings. Number 3, Dragons. The dragons in Dragon Ball are far more than the wish-granting beings that we often see, like Shenron and Porunga. There are also the Shadow Dragons, which represent the negative energy accumulated by overusing the Dragon Balls, and the powerful Super Shenron, the wish-granting dragon of the Super Dragon Balls. Dragons are mystical, divine beings with reality-altering abilities, and some of them are downright terrifying. Let's start with Shenron. Shenron is the dragon summoned by the Dragon Balls of Earth, and he can grant almost any wish, with the exception of those beyond his creator's power. While Shenron's strength isn't in combat, his ability to manipulate reality by granting wishes makes him one of the most significant beings in the universe. Shenron has restored entire planets, resurrected countless lives, and even granted immortality to certain individuals. Looking at you, Garlic Jr.
It should have been me, not him!
Then there's Porunga, the dragon summoned by the Namekian Dragon Balls. Porunga is even more powerful than Shenron, as he can grant multiple wishes and has fewer limitations. His ability to resurrect individuals and restore destroyed worlds has been crucial in saving the lives of Goku and his friends more than once. But if you thought Shenron and Porunga were impressive, Super Shenron takes it to a whole new level. Super Shenron is the golden dragon summoned by the Super Dragon Balls, which are planet-sized Dragon Balls scattered across universes 6 and 7. Super Shenron can grant literally any wish with no restrictions. He's so powerful that even the gods of destruction and Zeno himself have used him to restore entire universes. We can't talk about dragons without also mentioning the Shadow Dragons, though. The negative manifestations created when the Dragon Balls were overused. Each Shadow Dragon represented one of the 7 Dragon Balls, and they were immensely powerful enemies during the Dragon Ball GT saga. The strongest of them all, Omega Shenron, nearly destroyed the entire universe with his incredible strength and abilities. Omega Shenron's ability to absorb the powers of the other Shadow Dragons made him one of the most dangerous threats the Z-Fighters ever faced. Dragons might not fight in the traditional sense, but their ability to grant wishes, alter reality, and in some cases wreak havoc with their raw power makes them one of the most fearsome races in the Dragon Ball universe. Whether they're restoring life or threatening to destroy entire universes, dragons are beings of immense consequence. Number 2, Angels. At the very top of our list are the Angels. Angels are easily the strongest race in the the Dragon Ball multiverse, serving as guides and mentors to the gods of destruction. They are beings of immense power, possessing abilities that far surpass anything the Z-Fighters, Saiyans, or even gods can muster. The most prominent angel we've seen is Whis, the angel attendant of Beerus, but other angels like Vados, Mojito, and Grand Priest are equally awe-inspiring. What makes angels so powerful is their mastery of Ultra Instinct, a state of being where their bodies react automatically to any threat, without the need for conscious thought. This ability makes them nearly impossible to hit in combat, and allows them to attack with absolute precision. While Goku has only recently begun to master Ultra Instinct, for the angels, it's a natural state of being. Whis, for instance, is able to train both Goku and Vegeta to become stronger, and he does so with ease. He can rewind time, as he did when he helped Goku undo the destruction caused by Frieza, and he has the power to knock out Beerus with a single chop to the neck. And let's not forget that he can travel between universes in the blink of an eye. The Grand Priest, the father of all angels, is one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse, second only to Zeno himself. His strength is so great that he oversees all the angels and the gods of destruction, ensuring the balance of power throughout the universes. The Grand Priest's abilities are largely unknown, but his role as a cosmic observer hints at a level of power that's beyond comprehension. Angels don't just rely on brute force, though. They possess an incredibly deep understanding of the universe's structure, time, and reality itself. Their knowledge and wisdom, combined with their raw power, make them the ultimate force in the Dragon Ball universe. Number 1. Zeno's race. If you thought the angels were untouchable, think again. Zeno is on a completely different level, and when it comes to power, he's not just playing in a different league, he's playing an entirely different game. Alright, let's be real for a second. Zeno doesn't need to fight. He doesn't need fancy moves, energy beams, or transformations. Why? Because he can literally erase anything and everything in existence with just a flick of his wrist. We're talking about entire universes getting wiped out in an instant. No screaming, no powering up, no flashy battles, just gone. If you're still picturing Goku charging up his Kamehameha, let me stop you right there. Zeno's idea of combat is on a whole different plane of existence. Hear me out. This guy erased 6 entire universes for fun. Yeah, for fun. Imagine being so powerful that you get bored and decide, let's just remove half of reality just because. That's the kind of power we're talking about here. And if you think his erasure powers are limited to objects or planets, think again. He can wipe out gods, mortals, anything. When he erased universes 9 and 10 during the Tournament of Power, they didn't just lose. They ceased to exist. Gone. Poof. And here's the best part. Zeno's not even a fighter. He doesn't need to train, fight, or even get angry. He's always in control because, well, he is control. When Goku and Vegeta push their limits, trying to unlock new forms like Ultra Instinct, Zeno is casually sitting back, clapping, and probably thinking, that's cute. At the end of the day, Zeno's race, or more specifically, Zeno himself, is untouchable. No one comes close. Not Saiyans, not Friezas' race, not angels, not even the gods of destruction. He doesn't just reign supreme. He defines supremacy. So, if you ever wondered who the strongest race is, the answer is clear. Zeno's race stands at the top, unmatched in strength, skill, and influence. Click on this video next, where we analyze the 25 moments that Dragon Ball characters became memes. Go on, check it out!